You're listening to the Ugly Truth Podcast with George and Christina Markoski, your weekly injection of science, insights, and myth-busting. For awesome info and trending content, go to theuglytruth.blog.
Buonasera!
Buonasera. Ciao.
We're here in Venice, Italy.
Yes, so
Thank
hello
you so
everyone.
much for joining us.
And we're in Venice, and I don't know if you noticed, a lot quieter. We were in Naples
And
last
it's
week,
so hectic.
and it was so noisy. There was bell towers and ambulances and
It's
planes
crazy,
and everything.
yeah.
And here we are on this beautiful little island next to
It's just so peaceful here. It's a very, I find everyone's sort of a lot more slow and chilled out.
Everyone's very chilled out, and there's no cars here. Well, we're at the islands that we're at, so there's only little boats anyway, so it's beautiful. Lovely place. Very good place to chill out.
Very nice.
For our last little stopover in Italy before we go to Croatia.
And I feel very relaxed here, which is good.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit about a few different things, but investing, going niche and things like that.
So narrowing down to one main thing that's going to give you the most value.
I guess the theme is less is more.
Totally. Which is very similar to our last podcast, but we're going to talk about a different angle. We're going to talk about businesses now. And
people. We're going to talk about people. So if you're a person, this applies to you. Okay, so I guess there's two main areas of investment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can invest your time or you can invest your money.
True. And most people don't, I guess, understand or realise the concept of investing time quite yet.
No, I mean, see, everyone's very savvy about knowing that you can invest money.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
we all
a no-brainer.
know that. You know, you've got the stock market, you've got property, you've got businesses, you've got all these other things as well. Investing in things like money into different things. But, see, the thing is, resource-wise, time is more important than money.
Totally.
See, I've been in Italy for so long, I'm talking to my hands. I love it.
That's how you talk normally.
Oh, do I? Okay,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
So when you're investing your time, you know, like for example, sleep, you can invest more time into sleeping and be healthier. For example, I think it was Facebook and Twitter said their main competition was sleep at the moment.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. So all they're going to do is keep you up longer.
Because sometimes I know I'm guilty of being, you know, caught up at night time, and sometimes I'll just stay on for an extra, 10, 15 minutes
really?
rather than
Okay.
going to sleep. Yeah,
Fair
totally.
enough. Yeah, I don't
It's
really
addictive.
I really don't do social media at night, so it's okay. Because I'd rather read. So, I like that. Okay, so let's talk about time as a resource. I suppose with time, you've got a limited amount of time.
Where you've got your life.
Everyone's got the same amount of time each day, though. Doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or you're really poor. Each day you get the same amount of seconds, same amount of minutes every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true.
However, depending on your lifestyle and depending if you're investing time to improve your health, you can have a shorter life or a longer life. And I'd imagine having a longer life gives you more time, which is the biggest resource you can have. So I think investing in your health and well-being is probably the best investment you can make.
Oh, it's the most important thing you can do. Totally.
And I suppose that's why I'm so passionate about health as well, because investing in your health and fitness and overall mental health as well, that doesn't just give you more time, it gives you more quality time.
Well, health and longevity tend to go hand in hand.
Yes, but you want quality over quantity as well.
Absolutely.
Because if you extend your longevity but you're decrepit and you couldn't move and you're in a wheelchair, it's not really the same as if you were healthy and you were mobile. Would you agree?
Yeah, exactly. You want quality of life.
Yes. But some people have done astounding things even though they've had a lot of things to hamper them. Like look at Stephen Hawking. He could barely move and he's still doing amazing stuff, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just wonder if he had more health, would he be better or would he be not as good because he's got no external sort of things getting in his way of using his brain as much as he can?
Yeah, I think he's just like a laser beam, like focused
Totally focused.
on what he wants to do.
Yes. So improving your health not only can give you more time, it can give you more quality time, which is pretty cool. That's a big resource. So time, but there's another thing you can do with time in regards to investing.
Which is?
You can actually invest in personal growth, which is
Okay.
one of the things that I love investing into, because I think the two main things that I focus my investment on, my time, is personal growth and health. Because one, I get a lot of pleasure out of it for some reason, so that's good. So it gives me fun. But when you improve yourself, see, there's a guy called Jim Rohn, amazing guy, and he had this great saying. And he said, you can't get more than what you've got unless you become more than what you are. Right? And he says, don't wish things were easier.
Wish you were better.
Exactly. Right?
So I think it's about becoming a better person.
And then he says, this item's not too expensive, you just can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so, because, so if you're starting out in your career especially, this is for the young people, right? I really think that getting, if you're going to get a job, getting a job that's going to give you the skills to get where you want to become is much more important than getting a job that's going to give you money. You need money to live, so I'm not discounting that. But I'm saying if you can balance it out somehow and get a job, I'd rather get paid less money doing something that I love or doing something where I'm going to improve and get better. Because you're getting paid to get better, which is great, then do that. And when I first started in life, I actually got involved in sales because, one, what I liked about sales is you don't get paid just for the hours that you do, because if you become better, you get paid more. So therefore, you can actually improve yourself and make more per hour.
Yeah, it has like a compounding effect.
Yes, because getting paid per hour and then having to work your way through a corporation for years and years and years could be very challenging. And for me, I thought that's not what I want to do.
Okay, interesting.
And I enjoy talking to people, so I really
So
enjoy
you feel
that.
like you leveraged your time better?
Absolutely,
doing
totally,
that?
absolutely. Because if you become a good communicator, you get paid more. Because you look at great communicators in the world. Oprah Winfrey, she's a great communicator, isn't she?
Tony Robbins, yeah.
Tony Robbins, great communicators.
Yeah,
They earn good money
absolutely.
because they're excellent communicators. You think about other people that are great communicators. For example, the Beatles. They communicated very well through their music. They got paid very well because they communicated emotion and things like that. So if you look at the top of the game, good communicators are very good. You look at some actors that are really good. Who's your favourite actor?
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Okay, so he's an excellent actor. I mean, Wolverine. But he is. He's a very good actor. And one of my favourite actors, I suppose, who I think's got a lot of expression and
Jim Carrey.
yes, he's a great communicator. But you can see really good actors, they're very natural. They're good at communicating and they get paid more dollars. So sales, communication, all that sort of thing, it's all part of the thing, right? Now, they didn't just get born that way. Hugh Jackman didn't, as a baby, just get up and start acting.
They practiced.
They practiced and they invested in themselves and became better.
Invested in that skill.
So if you look at people that are at the top of their craft and really good at what they do, and there was a book that spoke about you need 10,000 hours to become an expert in your field or be the best of the best. Because there's a big difference, because if you're in the top 1%, the top 1% of any industry, they get paid normally more than the other 99% put together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at singers.
So
You've got someone like Britney Spears, and then you've got someone who's busking on the street.
Yes,
The
or
income.
working. The income difference is huge.
Massive.
Who else? What else can we? Okay, you got computer people. Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
His computer skills, marketing skills, and his concept work very well. He gets paid a lot more than other people that are good at computers.
Absolutely. That's any profession in life, I think. Totally.
Let's think of what other profession?
Well, you've got chefs.
Oh, the top Michelin star chefs. And
Exactly.
we actually recently went to a Michelin star restaurant.
Which was awesome.
Which was pretty amazing, wasn't it? Yeah, it was great. You can see why.
Yeah.
Their food is just
quality.
amazing. And I'd rather get quality than quantity anyway. It's fantastic.
Totally.
So investing in yourself, I think, is very, very important. And now we're moving towards investing in yourself. It's all about niche as well. See, Hugh Jackman wasn't trying to be a good football player, a good actor, and good this and good that. He really niched himself. I think Hugh Jackman is good at singing, dancing, and acting. And those three things really work well together in his sort of industry. And you've only got a certain amount of time in your life. And I suppose that's why our podcast and goal setting is really important, because being really clear on what you want helps you invest in yourself.
And like Britney Spears singing, sure, she did the one movie, but it was a pretty crappy movie. I think everyone would agree with me.
I didn't see the movie. So.
But she's an amazing singer, obviously, and that's where
she's brilliant. I mean, some people would disagree, but I think that at the end of the day, the amount of fans someone's got and how much money they've made out of it,
the success.
that shows. And you could personally say they're shit, but if millions of people think they're great, they're great. It's the crowd. The crowd speaks.
Exactly. She's got the results to prove that she's awesome at what she does. So.
Exactly. So, but it's interesting because of you look at media now. You got people that have done things that aren't that good, that have become very famous out of it and become really big.
Like what?
Okay, well, I think it's okay, but that song Friday or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, Rebecca Black.
Black. But
that became so big because it was the opposite to what they intended it to be. So it was like a comedy aspect.
Yeah, but it's catchy, I suppose, and it is a fun, happy song. It's not a bad song. It wasn't
the song. Sure, the lyrics were obviously notoriously bad, and it wasn't her voice. It was her voice.
Her voice is okay, though. It's not bad.
And the clip all tied in together, and the comedy aspect of it being so bad that it just exploded because of how bad it was.
Okay. I think Rebecca Black, good on her for getting out there and doing it. So nothing against her. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's done 10,000 hours of practice either, so she just got in there and did it. You know what I mean?
I'm just looking at it from like a outside perspective. I'm not like saying that she's a bad singer or anything. I'm saying the reason that her song Friday became so successful was because it was just the opposite to what they wanted it to be. Like
totally.
They wanted it to be just a fun song that had a good video clip, but it almost makes me question whether the producers knew that they were hitting all the right notes for it to be a massive disaster, because they're pretty smart producers, they know what they're doing, they know what works, they know what's good. So for them to do the complete opposite, a bit like that guy that was famous for doing bad movies, what's his name again?
Oh yes, Ed Wood. So he only did one take.
He's a one-shot wonder.
And his movies are notoriously bad.
But he's famous for that.
Totally. And actually, we saw a documentary, and it was an awesome documentary. It was fascinating. He was also famous for dressing in women's clothing. Loved it.
Okay.
Right? And he used to actually be on set in women's clothing.
But because his movies were so bad, that's why they were so good at the same time.
Totally. I mean, there's a lot of cult classic movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah, so it's funny how they've sort of taken that angle.
We've digressed, though. So the thing is, I suppose, podcasting-wise, we're pretty new. So we haven't done our 10,000 hours yet. So hopefully we'll get better. All right. Or maybe if we do such a really bad job, people are going to go, wow.
Then we'll become famous for that.
Famous for being the word.
It's going to work.
Someone's probably now putting a little clip on YouTube saying, wow, look how bad George and Christina are at podcasting. And it's going to go viral.
So. Trust me, I've seen some pretty shocking podcasts out there.
I've seen some shocking ones out there and some good ones. But, at the end, look, I think also if you love what you do and you give it all your heart and soul.
You're going to be naturally better at it.
I mean, I love podcasting, you do too.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoy doing this. And as long as people keep listening and giving us good feedback, it's great. And I really enjoy it when people send me emails and say, George, thank you for doing this or doing that. It's been great.
Yeah,
I love getting the feedback. It's really good, and it I guess it makes it feel really worthwhile for us.
So let's look at businesses that are niche.
Okay, niche businesses. Okay, so one example is Apple, right? So what happened was mobile phones were saturated. There was Nokia and other mobile phone companies, and Nokia had several dozen different types of phones.
When they first came out, yeah, absolutely. There was like Motorola, there was so many different brands. But funny.
This was even later on, because this is when Apple launched the iPhone. So when Apple launched the iPhone, there was quite a developed market in mobile phones, and everyone thought more types of phones was better.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by more types of phones?
Okay, so Motorola, Nokia, they had the flip phone, this phone, camera phone. They had lots of different types. Now, BlackBerry were quite niche.
Okay, well, that was still a different type of phone.
But it was niche. They were niche. And BlackBerry is still big because they're so niche. I know people that still use BlackBerries.
Because they've got like a calculator on the
No, they've got a keyboard, so it just makes it easy for some people. But anyway, so what happened was Apple launched the iPhone, and they only gave you one version. That was it. And
so you're talking about one like type of phone that a company has.
BlackBerry only had one type of phone.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're talking about.
Nokia had 30 phones.
No, I thought you were talking about all the different brands that were
available. No.
I get you now.
Each company tried to have as many different brands. So Nokia had a brand for the tradie, had a flip phone for people that wanted flip phone. They had a camera phone, I had one of those. And they had one with a little pen, and one with a touchscreen, one without a touchscreen, and they had everything.
Yeah, whereas BlackBerry and Apple had one phone.
So BlackBerry really excelled because they only had one type of phone. Then Apple came in with one phone as well and took the market. And now, Apple still have only got one type of phone.
Yeah.
They've got one phone and, 3 different versions, but it's the same phone. It's one phone.
Same phone, different
phone. It doesn't matter if you're a tradie or you're a lawyer or you're a pop star, it's the same phone. And that's part of the reason they really took over, because instead of doing different types of phones for different people, they decided to do one phone really well. And what they did is, I suppose they changed the landscape anyway because of the App Store. Because the App Store created a whole new market of people that could create apps and you could use it on the phone, so therefore you didn't need that many different versions.
Yeah, but I remember when the iPhones first came out, you could only get Instagram on iPhone. You couldn't get it on Android.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some specific apps that you could only use it if you had an iPhone. But then obviously that opened up the market later on.
But being niche is pretty important. This is including for a career. If you decide to be a truck driver and then you decide to do something else and do something else.
Well, let's face it, a specialist brain surgeon gets paid more than a specialist that does, knee operations and operations or something else.
Specialists normally.
Something, or a GP that does everything.
Okay, GP, yes. So
a specialist, for example, brain surgeon gets paid a lot
more than a GP.
They're doing a lot more important job, obviously.
Yes, but so all specialists, I suppose, get paid more than GPs because GPs...
They're very niche. They do one thing.
And they do it really well.
Exactly.
And that's really excellent. And the world's going more like that. See, McDonald's was one of the first people that became niche. So what happened is back in those days when McDonald's came out, you'd go into a hamburger shop and say, I want a hamburger with this, and this, and I'll have some apple pie, and I'll have this and that, fish and chips, all sorts of stuff. And then McDonald's, they just did one burger really well. They had a burger, fries, and Coke. That was it.
It was like the quarter pounder, wasn't it? It was like the 2 pickles, cheese, and the meat patty.
So they made it the same every single time.
And they counted out how many sesame seeds buns went on the bun, sesame seeds, yeah.
So they went really niche, and they took over the world being so niche. And I suppose one thing, people knew, no matter where you went, that you're going to get the same product every time.
Yeah. So you knew what to expect when you went there.
Yep.
You knew what you were going to get.
There's a lot of companies going more niche now that are doing very well.
Yeah, totally.
Because you look at Facebook social media, right? But then you've got LinkedIn, which is business, and it's niched, it's different. Instagram came out with just photos.
Yeah.
And look how huge it is. And people thought, wow, you can do less on Instagram, not more.
But they were quality photos as well.
Yeah, but you can do less on Instagram. That's why it became so big. So funny enough that
Twitter are very niche. You've only got a certain amount of words. It's like a text message.
Totally niche, and they're huge. And it's amazing how by restricting what people can do, you actually make it better. Because like we spoke about last episode, too many choices.
Yeah.
And it just makes it simpler.
Choice
so
fatigue.
What's happening, I suppose, there's a lot of companies out there that are doing that now, which makes it really good.
So it's just easier for you to make a decision about what to do.
It does make it easier, definitely. And I think it's important. So talking about investing time and money, 'cause that's what we're talking about today. And I suppose with your time and money, you've always got choices to make.
So how do you make the right choice?
Okay, well, look, at the end of the day, there's no cosmic right or wrong with anything anyway. But I think that to maximise what you're doing, there are certain choices you can make that are very important. And I'm going to talk about a few of my philosophies when it comes to time and money, when it comes to getting the most out of your life, which is important. Because, and look, I suppose here we are on holiday doing a podcast. So that's one of the things we're spending time on. But I guess we're enjoying it and we want to keep it going. And just because we're on holiday doesn't mean we're not going to do a podcast. Correct?
Yeah, so it's up there on the priorities.
It's up there on the priorities. So I suppose the important thing first is knowing what your priorities are, to know what you're doing. And so, for example, do I do my gardening?
No.
No. And I haven't done gardening ever. Right? And the reason being, I'll plant an organic vegetable patch. I've done that many times because I really enjoy that, and it's niche and it's fun. But I suppose if I look at gardening, it costs me around $20 an hour to hire someone to do it for me. Mm-hmm. I make substantially more than $20 an hour. So to me, to do my own gardening would not make sense.
You'd be losing money.
Well, funny enough, a friend of mine, she'd say, George, you're so lazy. You don't do cleaning, you don't do gardening, you don't wash your car, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I said, look, I'm not doing it because I'm lazy.
Outsourcing.
I'm doing it because those actual activities don't give me enjoyment. They're not going to improve me as a person or help me learn or improve or anything.
They're not going to help you get your overarching goals either.
They're not going to help me overarching goals, and all they're going to do is take away my time. And my most valuable asset. So I'm actually not being lazy at all.
Which is time.
Because my most valuable asset is time. So what I do is, and when you start out, it's a bit different. So when I first started out, I used to service my own car. Why? Because what I was worth per hour, it was actually cheaper for me to service it myself than pay someone else, if you understand what I'm saying. So therefore, I was thinking, okay, how much do I get paid an hour to go to work? How much am I going to pay for this car service? Wow, I can save 2 days of work by doing a service in 1 hour. So totally worthwhile. And actually, I remember when I was a teenager, we had friends that had to get their garden done, and I'd go and do it for like $10 an hour. I loved it. I'd be there all day chopping away because it was good. I enjoyed it, but I made good money out of it. But now it's not worth it because I make more money. So as you make more money per hour, so whatever you're worth per hour, then you've got to think, okay, if I get, let's say, for example, you're worth $100 an hour. Just out there, just a simple thing. $100 an hour.
Yeah.
And then you've got an activity that you don't like doing, washing your car. And it's going to cost you $20 to get it washed.
Then you're going to save a lot of time outsourcing it. Getting someone else to wash it.
One, if you do it yourself, it's really costing $100.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, so
and way of
do you really want to pay $100?
I guess it's a new way of looking at time and money, and you're putting what you're worth on an hour.
Totally, you have to, because you're worth a certain amount per hour, and you can work a certain amount of hours per day.
So if you sort of look at life through this lens, it's going to help you become a lot more efficient.
Totally. It's a really good way to do it because...
And it's a good way for you to decide what to delegate to other people as
absolutely, well. Absolutely. Because let's say your apartment needs painting and it's going to cost you $4,000 to pay someone to paint it, but you can actually paint it yourself over the weekend and save $3,500 to do it yourself.
Totally.
But if
It's a good tool to help you be niche as well and achieve your goals.
So what you want to do with your time, because time is such a good, important resource, is you want to maximise how much you get per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't have to maximise how much you get paid hour, but maximise how much growth and pleasure you get out of that hour. So, for example, if you love gardening and you're worth $100 an hour, you can hire someone for 20, but you love it, then do it yourself. Because the money doesn't matter then. Because you need to do pleasurable things in life. Or let's say, for example...
It's a bit like Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek.
Yes.
Now, he
absolutely.
explained to you that obviously it's not just 4 hours, but
yes,
you spend 4 hours a week doing
what you don't
want to do.
Yes.
So like doing the tedious stuff that doesn't bring you as much joy in life.
Because I actually did the 4-hour work week. And then I met Tim Ferriss and he's like, no, you're still going to do things and be passionate, because he does a lot more. Because I was saying, Tim, you do more than 4 hours. You know, you're here in Australia having dinner and stuff. And, Exactly. However, you know, from an early age, I worked this out pretty quickly, which was very fortunate. And therefore, I started delegating things, you know, back in the 90s, before people did this sort of thing. And at the time, a lot of people thought it was strange, because I wasn't earning a lot of money. So it was strange for me to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I was still earning enough not to do it myself.
Because a lot of people, I think they value money more than time.
They do. Well, so many people will actually do things like, for example, this is a classic where you need to go pick something up and drop it off, and it's going to take you an hour stuffing around. But you can go on Uber and get them delivered for $20. And if you said to him, if I paid you $20, would you do this task for me for an hour? You'd say, no, I wouldn't do it. So why would you do it if you're not getting paid for it?
Yeah, totally.
But a lot of people don't sort of get that. So if I got a task to do, I'll look and think, okay, if someone paid me this much, would I do it?
Yeah.
And if it's no, then I'm not going to do it. So it's important. And so, for example, here in Italy, we've been catching trains everywhere because they're quick, and I've been getting the fastest train I can. And it's a little bit more, but not a huge difference. And for me...
But the amount of time it saves is amazing.
For an hour or two, to spend an extra 20 euros each for an hour or two,
I think
it's nothing.
one of our trips was going to be like 6 hours, and instead of it being 6 hours, it was like
2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And huge difference. So I think a lot of people get confused about that. A lot of people go for the cheapest to save money.
Save money, but not time.
See, the problem is you don't want to save money if it's costing you time, right? And what happens is, as you become worth more money per hour, it becomes more evident. So if you're at the beginning of your whole career, then sometimes time is less valuable than money. True. That's the fact of it. And it changes as you go along.
But what's a good way for people to, I guess, have it the opposite, to achieve more in life so that they can start looking at life from a time perspective rather than a money perspective? Going niche, I think, would help.
Okay, so this is the thing. This is the weird thing. So I know people that are very hard workers, and they're good people. And what they do is they've got 3 jobs, right? They've got this job during the day, one on the weekends, and at night they've got another job. They're killing themselves lots of hours. And look, sometimes you have to do the hard yards. I've done it myself.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely. So when I first started one of my first business, I was working from 7 in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just did what I had to do. Right?
I can speak for myself as well. When I was at uni, you know, I was like bartending. I had like 2 retail jobs. I had like a job in a cafe. I was just hustling to like get by while I was like studying.
And I really believe at the beginning of your career, you just got to do it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have to do it, you're very fortunate, but I really had I had to really bust my ass to really make it happen. And that was fine. But then I know people that are doing one job during the day, and that's their chosen field. Then at night time, they're driving Uber. And then on the weekends, they're doing something else. And the thing is, this is the challenge. And, you know, everyone's saying, wow, they're so smart and they're hard workers and things. I'm going, hold it a second.
But you look at the results that they're achieving as
Exactly, because they're just peddling water. And the reason being is some of the activities are not worth the time. Because if you're working all night at Uber, you're not going to do such a good job on work on your job.
Well, you
the next
can't
day.
achieve your real goal.
And the
unless
thing is,
your real goal is to become a full-time Uber driver.
then just do that. So
Yeah.
the thing is, you're better off choosing the one occupation you really love, right?
And then become awesome at that.
And become awesome at that, then doing 3 occupations, but also you need to calculate the money as well. Because it's funny, you jump into an Uber and you're like, how do you, what's it like? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm making heaps of money. That's what they all say, the ones that I've actually gone in. But really, if I look at the numbers don't really stack up.
Don't add up, yeah.
And there was an actual article where Uber, what they were showing that people make and what they really make was slightly different. Mm-hmm. Not slightly, quite different.
But we're not here to bash Uber drivers.
No, not at all, not at all. I think that we're not here to bash anyone, really. It's just a matter of thinking what you're good at. And some people make good money out of Uber, and there's nothing wrong with
But even when you first start out in your chosen field that you are specialising in, like, the money's not going to be there straight away.
No, so but the thing is, if you're doing your chosen field and you're getting less money, you want to learn. So the thing is, a lot of people, they go to their chosen field, they work at their job.
I think because a lot of people want shortcuts as well, but you've got to understand it's a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to, just going niche isn't going to suddenly make you a millionaire overnight.
No, but the thing is, I like what you said about the shortcut. So the thing is, if you're going to go to a job, right, a lot of people go in that job and they do just enough not to get sacked, right? Mm-hmm. So they do a half-assed job. You should be doing that, because that is really going against you yourself, because you're not going to learn as much. So
Or
what I
find
did,
something that you actually are passionate about, something that you do actually give a shit about.
because you need to give it your all and do the best job you can.
Totally, because then you will become better.
Because if you don't become better, you're not going to earn more anyway. And what's the point?
But that's reflected in your earnings as well. The more skilled
Long
you are in a
term.
job, the more you earn.
Yeah, so when I first started out, when I got a job, I gave it 100%, right? Even if I didn't make any more money out of it, it didn't matter, because I thought, I've committed to this, I'm going to do it, and do it really well. And by doing an excellent job, it rubs off on you. Because if you spend all your time doing a half-assed job, how are you going to switch gears and do a good job? Like, how's that going to happen? You're better off being that person that does the best they can with what they do. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it really well. Funny enough, when I was in doing year 12, a friend of mine, his mother was a manager at this company. I don't want to mention the company. And what they did is they asked me and my friend to go in and pack some stuff and do some work, right?
Yeah.
And it was good money. It was like $20 an hour. For those days, it was great.
Yeah.
So I went in there, and what I did is I organised all this stuff really efficiently, and I was just smashing it out, right? Did a really good job, because I like to do things well. And then afterwards, they were laughing at me and saying, wow, you're going to be a good factory worker one day. Look at you, how efficient you are. We're not efficient. And I thought, well...
That's crazy,
It's got nothing to do with working in a factory. If you're going to do a job, just be proud of your job and do it as efficiently as you can, because it's a matter of the process, the way you think about it. Mm-hmm. So I've always had a lot of pride into anything that I've done. I've given it my best. And I think it's important, very, very important. And I know a lot of people out there, it's not easy having all these different jobs, and there's George going, oh yeah, but don't do this and do that. I know it's not easy, and it's a matter of trying to balance out the things to what you can.
But anything worthwhile in life isn't easy.
No, exactly, it's not. And I really think if you've got really big goals and you do what you're passionate about and try to focus more on that. And
Totally. Don't overthink the money side of it. The money will come later.
But some people need the money, so you've got to.
Obviously, you've got to have a balance.
Some people need two jobs or three jobs, but it's a matter
not pay
of
your bills.
But it's a matter of trying to fine tune that and do the best job you can, so you can get more money and get rid of more of the stuff that you don't want to do. So, in the process of my life is what I do each year is less of what I don't want to do, and more of what I want to do.
Yeah, totally.
But also, I like to challenge myself and do things that are difficult. I don't.
So you can become better.
Well, you can't become better by doing the easy things. So when there's a big challenge and I need to do it, I want to work on that because that's where I'm going to become better. That's your skill. It's like going to the gym. If you do just light weights, you're not going to...
Yeah, you're never going to progress.
No, you've got to do the hard stuff. And the funny thing is the hard things in life that really determine the person that you become. And this is very stoic, and I'm going to go back to stoicism, but when I look back, I find that the biggest challenges that I've ever had were the biggest gifts I ever had.
Okay, yeah.
You know, all the massive challenges were the ones that gave me the most personal growth. And when you're alive, I suppose, no matter where you're at, life's going to throw challenges at you.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Because I remember when I used to, I was living in Sydney, and Sydney is very expensive, and I'd have to drive an hour, 2 hours to go to work. Depending on the traffic, it could change. And every month I had more month left at the end of the month than money, right? Because paying all the bills and paying for everything was very challenging. And every time I saw a bill come in, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? But it was hard. At that time, I was thinking, God, if I just had more money, I wouldn't have any problems. Now I realise that's not true. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're always going to have challenges. That's the fact of it. And it's hard to, if I can go back to my prior self and say, George, it's not the money, it's the attitude, it's the way you feel about it.
It's your capacity as well.
Yes, because as your capacity grows to handle more things, that's how you get more in life. But not only that, is having more money just gives you different problems, different challenges. I call them challenges, not problems, because problems is not a nice word. But when you learn to enjoy your challenges, it's great. And when I get a bill now, I don't get any bad feeling. It's easy. And it's not because of a lot of money. It's because I've changed my attitude and the way I feel about things. It's more of a stoic philosophy than anything else. Because with stoicism, I suppose, what they say is there's no good or bad. It just is.
Just the way you look at life.
Yeah, so with stoicism, one example is like, let's say you're renting a house and it's $1,000 a month. And then 6 months later, your landlord goes, sorry, it's going to be $1,200 a month. Now, if you weren't stoic, you'd go, oh shit, that really sucks, that's bad, and feel bad about it. But if you're stoic, you just accept it and say, that's it. I'm not saying accept it and stay there, but imagine if you moved in before, imagine if you moved into that house and you said, look, in 6 months' time, the rent's going to go up. Then you wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't be upset about it, would you?
No,
but because you didn't expect it. However, he's a landlord. You should expect he's going to put the rent up if you can. So it's not really something that should surprise you. So therefore, not worth getting upset about.
The story is be the landlord.
I like it. So I suppose expecting things to work the way they work, sort of.
It's like that old saying, you know, prepare for the worst but expect the best. Is that sort of the...
Yep, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know, and I suppose, look, here in Italy, there's a lot of pickpockets, and we've been lucky.
But I've still been keeping an eye out everywhere I go.
We got targeted. We got targeted, and luckily 3 police moved in
right as she was about to make a move. So.
Yeah, and it was very subtle. And
she pretended that she was actually helping us.
I'm usually on top of my game.
It really caught me off guard because I thought, oh, you know, someone's actually trying to help us get the train ticket and do what we need to do. But
she had her eye on my credit card.
Yeah.
And she certainly did.
We soon realised when we saw 3 police crowd around us that...
And when she saw the police...
She just bolted. She was out of there.
Just quickly disappeared. So, yes.
We just realised. And then next time we actually went to get a train ticket, I realised there's a little warning that says watch out for pickpockets because they target you when you're getting your tickets.
Yes, I read the warning this time.
I wasn't aware of that before it actually happened to us. So
they also target you when you put your luggage up because you put your stuff down.
Yeah.
As you're putting your luggage, they go, thank you very much. But so far, no pickpockets. But being stoic, if it did happen...
Touch wood.
If it did happen, though, I expect it to happen, so it's not going to really upset you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the fact of it. You know
it's just a part of travelling.
Exactly. You just got to get used to it. So that's right. So so that was like a little sort of brief little session here. Look at this view back here.
And the sun is going down in Venice.
This is a beautiful little apartment in Venice.
It's gorgeous.
And the sun's going down, and I think we need to go out and have a beautiful dinner.
Sounds good.
And thanks, guys, for sharing our podcast and commenting and giving
Thank
us
you so
ratings.
much.
And
Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. And
I was going to sing us out in a little song to, I guess, capture the mood of.
Do you mind if
Venice.
I pre-frame it, the song?
What do you mean?
Okay, well, the song that Christina's going to sing is Like a Virgin by Madonna. And I remember when it came out, I was in high school, and me and a good friend of mine, Justin Becker, we loved Madonna. And I was watching the clip, and it's all in Venice, and she's on a gondola and everything else like that. And I was thinking, one day I really want to go to Venice. And this is my first opportunity, so here I am. And it's fantastic to be able to sort of realise a lot of my childhood dreams and travel to different places, and I love it. And please, take us out.
Okay. I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. Didn't know how lost I was until I found you. I was beat, incomplete. I'd been had, I was sad and blue. But you made me feel, yeah, you made me feel all shiny and new. Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. Like a virgin, when your heart beats next to mine. That's it.
Awesome, yeah. For everyone listening, thank you once again. Stay well, and see you next episode.
For awesome info and trending content, go to theuglytruth.blog.